Okay guys, I'm back, bit of a technical glitch there. Right, what we're going to do now is do the fundamental exercise, alright? And we're going to, it has many benefits, alright? First benefit is it help you find the base tempo of what you should be practicing a lot of stuff. Certainly in the early stages anyway. I have a metronome here set at 80 beats per minute, which is, reasonably slow, I would say, yeah? What we're going to do is we're going to take a major scale shape and we're going to play it at the 7th fret. And the shape goes like this. Turn the guitar on. Yeah, so it goes 2-4 and 1-2-4, 1-3-4, 1-3-4 again, 2-4, and 1-2. And sometimes I'll add in the first finger here. Okay, very plinky plonky, basic. First thing that you learn when you're a kid on the guitar, all of that. Okay. Now, please be patient because this gets very cool very quickly. All right. So we just got to remember that we're practicing small bits of information one at a time, and we're going to progress pretty quickly through each one. Okay. Okay. Now I'm just going to start the metronome. I'm just going to play. What I want you guys to do is just play along with me. We're going to play one note per click, and we're going to start with a downstroke, and we're going to do strict alternate picking. Okay. And what you'll find is, because the reason I've chose this particular scale shape is because it has a combination of different fingers. 2-4, 1-3-4, 1-2-4, 1-2. And it has, some of the strings have 2 notes, some have 3. Pretty cool. It kind of like mixes it up a little bit. Okay. So we're just going to play on the 5th fret that shape. We're going to start with a downstroke. Okay. And we're going to play one note per click. Pretty simple, right? If you've done it right, the last note will also be a downstroke. What I would say is just practice that a couple of times. Pay attention to your picking hand. Are you picking right? What I like to do is to sink in, find the sync point when we're crossing strings, like this. I'm going to start with a down. Every time I cross a string, I'm going to pay attention to what is that, a down or is it an up? Down, up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up. Yeah? They are the points at which you're going to have a hiccup, if there's going to be one, when you're crossing the string, okay? So what we want to do is analyse that and isolate that and think, okay, maybe get a piece of scrap paper and write it down in order, all of the sync points when you cross the string. Is it down or is it up? And just kind of have that as a reference so that your mind can see that, and it'll just help you to eliminate any little hiccups, okay? That's number one. What we're going to do is we're not going to adjust the tempo at all. It's going to stay at 80 beats per minute the whole time. We'll see how we'll go up and kind of make it more difficult as we go through. So that's one note per click. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the right hand first, okay? The left hand is going to do the same thing over and over and over again. We're now going to kind of isolate the right hand or the picking hand and focus on warming that up with different combinations, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to play 2 notes per click, like this. starting with a downstroke, strict alternate picking. Yeah? Basic, simple, boring. You guys probably switched off by now, but try to engage because we're going to develop through this very quickly. Okay, that's 2 notes per click, starting with a downstroke. Now we're going to do 2 notes per click, starting with an upstroke. Very simple. Okay. Do a bit more repetition with it. We're going to get into this in a bit, and I'm going to show you how I practice through the whole sequence in a very thorough manner. Okay. For now, I'm just showing the fundamental exercise and the different combinations that we're going to utilize throughout the main kind of workout, if you like, or whatever you want to call it, warm-up routine or whatever. Okay. Now we're going to do 3 notes per click, which is a triplet. Has a bit of a different feel. So I'm trying to like feel it first. Count it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah. A lot of people struggle with going from 2 or 4 to 3, which is a triplet, which is a little bit of a different feel. Now some of these metronomes that you buy have this, where you can play 2 notes per click. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, which is 2 notes per click. Some of them let you do 3, triplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if you want, if you're struggling with doing it, use this as a guide. Most metronomes these days have them. So I'll use that as a guide, 3 notes per string. Now because there's 3, remember initially 3, the first one will start with a downstroke, and the next one will start with an upstroke. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So think about those sync points when you're crossing strings and what stroke it's going to be. You might want to write it down, you just might want to say it yourself in your mind. By doing something at a very slow tempo, although we're gradually speeding up now because we're playing more than 1 note per click, it allows you and it enables you to isolate any mistakes. Again, because it's so slow, what I would recommend you do if you struggle with something, slow it down gradually on a metronome till it's like a snail's speed or till whatever speed it is that you can execute it with 100% accuracy. Do some repetition and then gradually speed it up. Okay? What we want to try and do is isolate what the actual issue is with the phrase. Is it when you're crossing the string? Is it a certain pick direction? Is it a combination? What exactly is it? And just try to observe it yourself, you know, and then try to isolate it. But the next one is going to be 3 notes, so it's going to alternate every time. Start with the downstroke. Now, it alternates every time anyway, right? But I would still do it again and start it with an upstroke because there's different combinations. It feels slightly different, and we want to try and be able to do things in different combinations, different orders and all of that, and not really struggle with the mechanics and the coordination of doing that. So we'll do it again and we'll start it with an upstroke. You see I had a bit of a hiccup there. It is a little bit more difficult. Okay, so that's 3 notes starting with a down and 3 notes starting with an up. Okay, I struggled a little bit there with some of it. So what I'm going to do is just maybe nudge the tempo down just a couple of beats per minute. Okay. Now the next one that we're going to go to is 4 notes per click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. You can use this as a guide. I'm just going to put it back to normal. 4 notes starting with a downstroke. Flows nicely. One other thing as well, which I've just realised that I'm not really doing this is in the way that I should. Every time you say a 1, if you're doing a group of 1, a group of 2, a group of 3, or a group of 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time you say a 1, or every time you cross a string, try and do an accent a little bit. And also try to feel the beat a little bit. I'm sitting on the floor here, but one of the things that I used to do a lot and that Ravi taught me to do is always tap your foot and be able to feel the different rhythms that are going on there. It will help with the rhythmic accuracy. Certainly doing it at a very basic level like this one is very slow and help your body to really absorb the different combinations of different rhythms of 2, 3 and 4. And if you can do those and feel those and be able to play those in different combinations, then it's very easy to do any odd time signature because all you're doing is a division of 2, 3 or 4 to add up to any other number. Okay, that's really all it is. We'll now do 4 starting with an upstroke. Couple of hiccups there again, but this is why I'm practicing at a slow tempo to do isolate any things like that and maybe knock it down another couple of BPM to 76. Okay, and that's kind of like the whole sequence. And it's nearly the end of the video. So what I want you all to do is just to practice those different combinations on their own from the 5th fret or the 7th fret. Don't really move your left hand yet. Play the scale shape, play the different combinations, feel the tempo, be able to play 1 note per click, 2 notes per kick starting with a down, 2 notes starting with an up, then 3 notes per click, triplet, starting with a down, then again starting with an up, and then 4 notes per click, starting with a down, and then again starting with an up. And you're going, oh, now this is another thing. A lot of guitar players will think like this, they'll go like this, through a series or a sequence of exercises, and they won't come back down again. Think like an athlete or a gym person or whatever. So what we want to do is once you've done 4, just feel a bit of tension because you've built up the speed from 1 note to 2 notes to 3 notes to 4 notes. It's getting a bit more tricky. You'll start to feel it in the top half of your body a little bit. What we want to do is warm down and do it backwards and go from 4. Once you've done 4, then do 3, then do 2, then go back to 1. Okay? So in the next video, I'm going to go through the whole sequence, but for now, just learn these fundamentals.